Welcome back to Roaming with Restless Women. Today I have Pamela Thibodeaux. She is an award-winning author, a life coach, and a spiritual mentor. Her tagline, Inspirational with an Edge, defines her life, writing, and coaching style. And I'm going to ask her to tell you a little bit more about herself. Go ahead, Pam. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you for having me. I love the name of your podcast, Roaming with
Okay.
Restless Women.
Thank you.
Definitely identify with being a restless woman. But a little bit more about myself. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a widow, an entrepreneur. I don't know, just wear many, many hats.
So tell me about your early life, your early career, or your early family life. Just go
Okay.
from the beginning. Let's do that.
Oh my goodness. Well, I started young. My first child was born 2 weeks before I turned 18. And
Goodness.
yes, so when most of my classmates were, getting married and having babies, I had grandbabies coming along. So
Oh,
it's been
wow.
wonderful. I have three grandchildren. I've been in the customer service industry my entire life. I've worked in fast food. I've worked in hospital setting. I've worked in accounting. I've worked in insurance. So I've been in the service industry. So being a life coach and all just comes natural. Wanting to help people just comes natural to me. And so it's pretty much it. I founded a writers group back in 2002 in Lake Charles. It's a lot smaller now than what it used to be, but it's kind of run its gamut. It's run from very small to huge, then it's back small again and more intimate. Um, I'm a published author. I offer publishing services to help other aspiring writers achieve their dreams. I'm a life coach, a spiritual coach, a journal therapy coach. So just wear a lot of hats and I love in every moment of it.
So when did you decide to become an author? Was it always something that you always wrote, or was it
Well,
something new?
if you'd have asked me that a few months ago, I'd have said, or a year ago, I'd have said, no, I just started in my 20s. What actually was the impetus to me writing was being bored with the books that I read and just dissatisfied and
Oh,
thinking I could do better. And that's a lot more difficult than you think, that's a little bit arrogant right there. But I mean, I was young and I was like, man, I can do better than this. And I just started writing. Started writing in 5 subject notebooks. I graduated to a word processor and then to a computer. And by the time I got to the computer stage, everything was electronic.
yeah.
Ebooks, all the submissions were electronic, the whole 9 yards. So I've kind of been in it for a long time.
What is
And
some of the, I'm sorry, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, I just started and trying to evolve from there. I have 16 titles and I have a new nonfiction that's coming out early in the year and I just write by the seat of my pants. In fact, on my writing YouTube channel, that's what I talked about today is what kind of writer are you? A plotter, a pantster, or a hybrid? And I'm 100% pantster. I get the idea and I just roll with it.
Wow. So what was your first book and when did you start writing that?
My first book that was published was Tempered Hearts. It is the first in a series of 6 books, and there's a companion novella to the series. And it was published in 2000, and that was my first published book.
That's amazing. And what's it about?
Okay. It is about an arrogant jerk cowboy rancher, a jaded cowboy, and a female veterinarian. And it's set back in the 70s
Okay.
where women veterinarians were not as popular as they are now. And she's very feisty, very strong, but she's been hurt. And so the I didn't even know what the title was going to be when I started the book. And then the grandfather makes a comment. He says, only when hearts are tempered, minds are opened, and wills are softened, can man discern God's will for his life. And so, okay, well, there you go, tempered hearts. That's how the title came about. So it's a pretty interesting. People either love it or hate it because I don't write conservative Christian. They may
Uh-huh.
fight. There may be a curse word, and it's not all throughout the book. It's usually, they get a little more sensual, than what your conservative Christian novels do, but yet they still stay within guidelines. And
Hmm.
usually there's a lesson attached to whatever the unusual circumstance is. There's usually a lesson. In fact, I had a reader tell me about Tempered Hearts. I can't believe the guy finally got it. I can't tell you what it is, but he finally got it. I'm like, okay, there you go.
Oh, that's
So,
lovely. So, what gave you the courage? I know that a lot of people think they want to write a book. A lot of people start to write a book,
right,
but a lot of people chicken out,
right.
right? They just don't know what to do next. So, what gave you the courage to write it and actually go for it and get it published?
You know, um, I just started writing and I just fell in love with the process. I fell in love with the characters. I started pitching when you sent the manuscript in, hard copy and query letters and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just love the process. I love being creative and being able to write and make these stories come alive, let these characters come alive. In fact, my mom and I used to go on book signings and we would be talking about the characters and people would say, "Oh, is that your baby or your grandbaby you're talking about?" And it's like, no, they're not even real people, but they are
Oh,
real people,
wow. To you, they're real
To
people,
me, they're real
right?
people. And to the
And to your
readers, they're real people.
readers. There
Right.
you go.
And so
Yeah.
I don't know that courage had a lot to do with it. I think it takes just wanting to do it, just getting the stories out there and just keep doing what I'm doing. People, like I said, people either love them or they hate them, because they're not what they expect. And that can be a good thing. But they're true. I stay true to who I am and the writing that
Yeah.
that I feel like God has called me to do. So
Yes.
I'm not called to write conservative because I don't live conservative. And I don't mean that to mean that I'm a wild woman, but I believe differently than a lot of people. And I'm living my life to be as authentic as I can be. And so in that instance, I want my characters to be that real as well.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, there are people in every category that you can
Hmm.
possibly imagine. And when you write authentically, when you write for your authentic self, the
Hmm.
people who want that same thing will gravitate towards you,
Right,
right?
right.
And those that, maybe want erotica are not going to come to
Hmm.
your books. Those that want, the woman never speaks aren't going to come to your book.
Right,
I'm a little bit more on the liberal side, to be honest with
right,
you. So, but I have a grounding in spirituality and in God. I'm a Christian, but I live that in my life,
right,
right?
right,
So I don't feel that I have to preach it to others. I let
right,
people be who they are because
right,
they were also made by God, however they are.
right. And
So, yeah.
I try to live my life by two mottos. One is judge not lest you be judged,
Yes.
because there's
Yes.
so much judgment in the world today. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at that because I still find myself, and then I'll say, okay, stop. It's
Yeah.
not your place to judge this. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
And the other one is don't mock what you don't understand.
Right.
Someone's faith, whether they're living it way out loud or they're living it quietly, you don't know their heart.
Mm-mm.
Only God knows the heart. So it's not our place to judge that, and it's not our place to mock that. So
Yep.
again, I'm not perfect, and I'm not saying I don't ever, you know, forget those mottos, but I try to live my life with those and be compassionate, be kind. Just be
Yeah.
nice. Just be nice.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't be anything else, just be nice.
It'd be nice or keep your mouth shut.
Right?
That's what my mom
Exactly.
used to say. Be nice or keep your mouth shut.
Right.
I'm not real good at that sometimes. I like to have a good debate, occasionally. So what is your favorite thing about working with people to help them publish their books?
Seeing somebody else's dream come true. Just
Mm,
seeing that book get out there, seeing it get in print, seeing them going to author events and meeting them at other author events, especially if they're local, and just knowing that I played a small part in helping
mhm,
somebody's dream come true. It's just, it's a miracle. It's amazing. And,
mhm.
there's a lot of people out there that help other authors. I'm not the only one. And I don't know what their reason is, but for me, it's just the joy. Again, I'm a helper, the joy of
Mhm.
helping and seeing their dream come true. Because, when I first got published, Tempered Hearts was an ebook, and it was back when the ebooks were very, very new. And
Mhm.
it was not really published. I mean, I had people tell me, "You're not published. That's not a book." And now look at it. It's the whole industry has gone there. But so I've been through the judgment and persecution or whatever you want to call it. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I don't care. I don't like labels. I never liked labels. You have the CBA market, you have the ABA market, you have this and that and the erotic, and it's a story. Just let it be what it is and let readers know what it's about and let them choose and judge, themselves. But it's just the joy of helping people.
What do you think is the hardest part of being an author?
Promoting,
Promoting?
promoting,
Yeah.
not knowing how much promotion is too much, well, how much is spammy. I know what grates on my nerve is when I see the same post or the same person 15 times a day on 15 different, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not doing this. This drives me up a wall. And I don't have the
Yeah.
time for that. Even in scheduling them, with the programs you can use to schedule
Oh,
promotion
yeah.
in advance, it still takes a lot of time. And I'm like, I'm going to do my best and I'm going to let God do the rest.
I love that
So,
saying, actually. I'll do my best
yeah.
and let God do the rest. That's awesome.
Well, there was one time that, I mean, I had done everything. I was on blog posts and all kind of stuff. There weren't a lot of interviews back then, but blog posts and blog tours and things like that. And, this kind of post in that platform. And finally, I just said, oh God, I'm done. This is just too much. This is driving
Yeah.
me up a wall. And I said, I decided this is when I started with the affirmations and stuff. I was learning all these
Mm.
processes for your life. And it was like, I just wrote, I said, every day for the next 40 days, it happened to be Lent, which makes it wonderful. I am just going to put one page a day. I'm an anointed and successful author. That's it. And my royalties doubled that quarter and the following quarter. Now, I still had a lot of mindset growth to do before I felt like that was a success because, you don't make a lot of royalties on ebooks that are 99 cents. You might get 30 cents a piece. So,
Mhm.
but still, the fact that the royalties actually did that, it was like, okay, so I don't have to control everything. I don't have to be in control of this part of it. I have to do my part, but I don't have to make myself crazy trying to get it
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Did you find that when you were going through the process and as you continue to write, I mean, you've got tons of books, which is awesome,
Thank you.
that there are certain parts that you absolutely love and certain parts that you absolutely despise.
One of the things well, the promotion is one of the things I despise. I mean, I wouldn't say
Right?
despise as much as I used to, but
Yeah,
I'm not. It's just not my favorite part. I
right.
love the writing. I've even gotten to where I love the editing, you
Yeah.
know. Um, Trying to write a blurb or a synopsis, that is one of the things that I struggle with. And it's not because I don't know how, it's just because I've got a 70,000 word novel. You want me to put it in 250 words? Come on, give me a break here. But it makes you think and really dig into what your story's about. So it's always good. And that's what I'm hoping to teach on my YouTube channel. It's called A Novel Lunch. And it's based on the concept that if you work 1 hour a day, on your lunch hour, you can write a book within a year or so. You can finish your novel. And so I'm teaching the basics of writing. Right now, I'm in the basics. And that's what it is. It's like you just do what you can do. And these are some ways that you can narrow that down, narrow that focus down, and get that information that you need.
What you said you were coming up with a nonfiction. What is that book about? And it's coming out in the early part of this coming year?
Yes, ma'am. I have a nonfiction out now. I have a devotional. It's called
Okay.
Love is a Rose. And you know the song The Rose? Some
Yeah.
say love is like a river and it drowns into. This book parallels the love of God to the lyrics of that song. And it's a journal where you can write,
Oh,
write in it if you choose. The one that's coming out it'll probably be the end of January, is called Giving on Purpose, How 30 Days of Conscious Giving Can Change Your Life. And it's based on the premise that we're taught that it's more blessed to give than receive, but giving
yeah.
and receiving are reciprocal. One is dependent upon the other. And a lot of people give and give and give, and they always feel like they're just not giving enough. And then when they don't
Mm,
recognize the way that God is giving back to them, or they're not open to receive, or they're just not conscious of the receiving end. So what we're going to do is there's practices to write what you give. There's a scripture, or there's a quote on giving, and you meditate on it, and then you write down everything you gave that day. And it's not just about money,
oh, yeah.
time, energy, compassion. Did you listen? Did you just listen? Did you give somebody your time and your attention? Did you help somebody? Did you open a door? Did you buy a cup of coffee? So everything you gave, and understanding that everything you give will come back to you in some way, shape, or form. It might not be the same way, but if you give kindness, kindness will come back to you. If you give love, love will come back to you. What you sow, you shall reap. And so it's there's nothing out there like this book. There are
Mm.
gratitude journals all over, and I love gratitude journals. I practice gratitude. I think it's a wonderful practice,
Oh, yeah.
but not a lot of people, and a lot of people know the power of giving. Businesses and philanthropists and all that, they know that. But does the average person understand how powerful their giving is? And do they understand that you shall receive, to be open to receive and to acknowledge it? So once you start acknowledging these things, then you realize how generous you are, how kind you are. You have a higher sense of self-worth and identity. So it opens, hopefully it will help people to get to that openness for the giving and the receiving. That's my prayer.
That is beautiful. That is
I'm
absolutely
excited
beautiful.
about it. I can't
What is
wait
the
for
name
it.
of it? Have you named it
It's
yet?
it's giving on purpose.
Oh,
How
yeah, you said
30,
that. I'm
yeah,
sorry. Yes,
that's
giving on
okay.
purpose. Okay.
How 30 days of conscious giving can change your life. And it's just to become more aware,
Yeah,
more aware.
that's beautiful. All
I'm
right.
excited about it.
It sounds great. So I know that you mentioned that you're a widower.
Widow, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sorry, widow.
That's
Yes.
okay.
So tell me about, I have a lot of people on the podcast who have lost, a spouse
Hmm.
or a partner over time. And inevitably, they share a story about how it changed them in some way.
Right.
If you're willing, could you share a little bit about that process for you?
Well, I had been married, my first marriage, I got married at 16, and my first child was born a couple weeks before I turned 18. So I was married a little over a year whenever he was born. And then that marriage ended. I didn't have I had a few years of being single, which I hated, but you're not really single, a single mom, you're working, you're trying to raise kids, whatever. Well, my second marriage was really my soulmate, and it was a beautiful marriage. He was not totally opposite of my first husband, but he was more tender and gentle and more demonstrative, just things like that. And I always felt beautiful in his sight, but I never felt beautiful in my own sight. So when I
Mm,
became a widow, I had been married over half my life. I was 48. I'd been married since I was 16, or in a committed relationship since I was 16 years old.
that's still very young.
It is. And it's a long time. So, I used to laugh about people saying they had to go find themselves until
Yeah.
I was thrust out into a world that I was not comfortable in. I did not want to be in. I never wanted to be single. From the time I was a little girl could talk, all I ever wanted was to be married and have babies. That's it. I
No.
wanted to be a wife and a mother. And so I had to figure out who Pam is and was. I had to find out who is she, not the wife, not the mother, not the grandmother, not the widow, but the
Mm.
individual. And so it has helped me. That's why I keep expanding in the areas that I'm expanding in, is because I know that if I can do it, if I can get comfortable in my own skin, because I tell you what, 5 years ago, you wouldn't have caught me on a podcast. I was very
Oh.
well, I may have been on a few 5 years ago, but 7, 8 years ago, very self-conscious, very uncomfortable, never put myself out there in any way, shape, or form. I did the books. I promoted what I could, but it was always written, kind of the written way, the blog tours and things like that. I've been on television a couple times as the co-founder of the writers group, but I was never comfortable with it. Now I'm like, you know what? This is what you see is what you get. If
Mm-hmm.
you like it, good. If you don't, hit the road. It's
Move
your
on.
loss. It's your
Yeah.
loss because I know my own value. Now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying that in a way to sound like I'm conceited and all
No,
up
of
in
course
my own
not.
self,
No.
but I have learned how valuable of a person I am. My knowledge, my experience is all valuable information. And so
And
it's
that
just,
happened
it has
after your
expanded,
husband
expanded.
passed?
Yes.
Because of when he passed, you didn't have that anchor of
Right. I had to
not
find out,
anchor
I
in
had
a
to,
bad way, but an anchor in
right,
a good way. You had to find out who you were separate from him
right.
and
And I
from
had to find
everything
my,
else.
right, I had to find my own strengths, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Again, like I said, I never felt beautiful in my own sight. I never thought of myself, and I'm not saying I think of myself as the most gorgeous woman in the world, but beauty is not external looks.
No.
Beauty is something that goes a whole lot deeper. And we've heard that a million times. Beauty, skin deep, uglies to the bone, blah, blah, blah. But there's always a little bit of truth in all those kind of little sayings that you hear.
Right.
And if you
There
stop and think
are.
about it, and what's so prevalent with women, even young women today, and I know men too, is that they don't have that for themselves. They don't have any self-confidence. It's all about external validation. And you can strive for that all you want. But until
Yep.
you value and get that internal validation, it's not going to be enough. It's never going to
Right.
be enough. So when you learn to accept yourself, to love yourself, to forgive yourself, to be kind to yourself, be compassionate with yourself. Talk to yourself like you would talk to your best friend. You wouldn't put your best friend down if she was having a bad day. You
No.
wouldn't judge and condemn her. Why do you do that to yourself? So, a lot of inner work, a lot of inner work, affirmations, mirror work, tapping and EFT, all of it. And so that's why I can do what I can do today, is because I have found that, you know what? There's value in all of us. And when you share that with the world, you know, one person at a time, one podcast at a time, one
Mm-hmm.
YouTube chat video at a time, then you're doing your part to make the world a better place.
I think that's the only reason why we're actually here.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. We're here for much deeper purposes than what we've ever been told or led to believe.
Right.
And
And
I would
it's not
love,
even, to me, it's not even necessary to be able to say out loud, my purpose in the world is.
right.
It to me, there was a Julie shaped hole in the world.
Hmm.
And I was sitting here to fill it. And regardless if I'm consciously um, aware that I'm stepping into that hole or not, it will get filled.
Well,
That hole will get filled.
our purpose is just
Yeah.
to be the best version of who we are, to be
Right.
true to ourselves, to be true to those around us, to those we come, to be honest, to be open, to be authentic. Because
Yeah.
when you share your heart, when you are open, honest and open and authentic, you give people permission to be that way. And the world mirrors that back to you. If you're
And
fake
people
and
need
phony,
it. Oh, they
if
need
you
it
are
so
fake and phony
badly.
all the way to the bone, it's gonna come back and show you, hey, this is not who you are. And
Yeah.
that's a good thing. We tend to think that that's always a bad thing. Oh my goodness, but no, that's a good thing because our
No.
goal, our purpose for being here is to remember who we are. We are a soul.
Yeah.
We are a spiritual being having a human experience, not the other way around.
Absolutely. 100%. I
So,
love that. All right. We're getting close to time, so it's time for me to ask my three questions. Are you ready?
uh-oh,
They're
I
easy.
don't know, but I'm gonna
They're
try.
easy. I promise you. Okay.
Okay.
So close your eyes for just a moment. And in your mind's eye, describe what you see when I say wise woman.
Oh, I see. I see a Native American grandmother,
Yeah.
Mother Earth.
Yeah. That's funny because I've done 5 podcasts this week. I've recorded 5, and 2 of you have now said that. And that is my
Oh,
vision. When I first conceived of wise women as something that I wanted to focus on in a spouse,
mhm.
that was the vision that I had, was the grandmother,
The
the little
grandmother.
chunky sitting on the ground looking down at her village, and all the kids running around and being very, very
Mhm.
proud and protective and loving.
And
That's
grateful.
and
Yes.
grateful. Absolutely. Thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Give me
Here's my next
chills.
question. You ready for this one?
I don't know, but I'm ready
Oh,
for it.
here we go. Where do you like to roam?
Oh, I love to roam. I love to travel. I hate to drag the roads. Okay. For me,
Yeah.
dragging the roads is when you got to run errands. You got to go here, do this, go here, do that,
Oh, is
see
that
this.
what you mean? Okay,
I
I
hate to
hadn't heard
drag the
that one.
roads, but let me tell you something. I love to travel. I love to travel. In
Yeah.
fact, I have a travel blog called Bathroom Blues where
Bathroom blues.
right? Because I cannot stand a dirty bathroom. So when
Oh,
you travel, we travel, my life partner now, we travel with an RV. And so you use a lot of different bathrooms, and
oh
so I thought,
yes.
well, and I thought it was so funny. I thought, something unique, something catchy. And so it's bathroom-blues.com, and I reminisce on all my travels from the last since 2017, I guess.
That's amazing. I also, my husband and I have an RV, and we
Oh,
actually we did the full-time thing for
oh,
two
wow.
years and traveled all over the country and still doing our jobs and stuff, but it
Right.
was a blast. We absolutely loved. Now I've got a grandson and I just can't travel away from him
Oh,
anymore.
I hear you. See, when my
Yeah.
grandchildren are grown, my youngest grandson's 16.
Oh,
So, of
wow.
course, now when football season's going on, I'm going
Uh-huh.
to be home.
Oh, yeah.
Got to be home for those football games. But any other time, let's go. I'm ready.
Oh, I
But
love
my
it. Yeah.
favorite place to roam is the home of my soul, and that's Bandera, Texas. That is the home of my soul.
I was there. I have
Oh,
visited Bandera, Texas. I certainly
when?
have. Yes, we were there last March. Well, earlier this
Oh,
year in March,
wow.
we were there. I
Girl.
know. I know. It is a cute town. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have pictures and
Well,
everything with the
well,
steer on the back of the building. That
mhm.
one building. Oh, that's so fun. Wow, Bandera. Yeah, I
And
love the hill
actually,
country.
my tempered series are set in Bandera.
No,
Yes,
that's
I
amazing.
used to visit Bandera when I was a little girl with my grandparents. They had a friend that lived there. She had a small ranch there. And so I still remember sitting on the porch and hearing the coyotes, sitting with my papa and hearing the coyotes howl out in the distance. So it just touched my soul as a child. And after my husband died, I got a job on a guest ranch in Bandera. I worked off and on for 4 years. So I thought, and this is
Wow.
I say this many times and it just so resonates deep within my soul. It's like Pandera touched my heart as a child, but saved my life as an adult because I couldn't stay here.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that, but and I would cry all the way to Bandera and I would cry all the way home for a long time. But I
Wow.
love Bandera and I still go back at least once a year. I go back, see my friends, and just when I cross that line that says Bandera County, I'm just like home.
Yeah. Oh, that is beautiful. I love that. I love that. Okay, here's my final question.
All right, I'm
What
ready.
what makes you restless in a good way?
Oh, in a good way. Hmm. I've always been restless. I've never stayed in one job actually for more than 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years has been my max. Um, I don't know, in a good way. I've never considered it a bad thing because it makes me who
Good.
I am. Um, I get antsy from time to time when if I feel confined it for any reason, like gloomy weather, and
Oh,
that'll make me
yes.
restless because I love the sunshine. Give me the sunshine. Just give me the sunshine. I'm
Yeah.
not a winter person. I'm a summer person.
Me
We're supposed to have
too.
70s next week, for Christmas. I'm like, I don't care. I'd rather be 70 than, in January we had 14 inches of snow in Southwest Louisiana. It's like, no, no,
Ooh.
no, no, no.
Yeah. Let's
Let's
not
do
do that again.
right. And we don't have a fall. We go
Yeah.
from 80 degrees one day to 40 degrees the next morning. I'm like, this is. So
Mm-hmm.
weather makes me restless, if I feel confined or constriction or like, in change, but not in a bad way. Change
Mm-hmm.
makes me restless because it's like, okay, come on now, let's do it already. Let's get it
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
but it's always exciting. So it's not really a bad kind of restless. Now, when I was working and I would get bored and restless, I had to move. I had to leave.
Yeah.
So I worked at one job, I worked at a hospital, but I did two different positions. So it wasn't too bad because I was seeing different people. So doing the same thing every day in and day out makes me restless in a not so good way. It's like I gotta break out of this mold.
Well, and
But
that's what I say that I mean, you're describing me to a T, to be honest with you, because I get the same exact way. I look at
yeah,
restlessness as a positive. A lot of people
right.
look at it as a negative. But when I created the name of this show, my whole thought process was I'm traveling in my RV because I'm restless. It makes me go. It makes
Hmm.
me interested and curious, and it makes me want to move and
Right.
travel and see stuff and experience things. It's not a bad thing. You
No, it's not. I mean, well,
know?
it's like anything. It has its polar opposites.
Right.
Restlessness can be, you know, um, just dissatisfaction with your life and things like that. But there again, when you're doing the internal work that most of us
Yeah.
women, grandmothers and that people start younger and younger nowadays, and I think it's beautiful
Yeah, thank
doing the
goodness.
internal
Yeah.
work. But I mean, when I was growing up, it was like there was just like that wasn't even spoken about. You had no clue what people meant. Like I said, I thought people were stupid when they said they had to go find themselves. But
Yeah.
I had to go find myself. I didn't know who Pam was. So I mean, you grow. So if it's
Yeah.
restlessness that's going to get you to looking within and saying, okay, what's going on? What does this mean? Where's that next level that God is taking me in my life? Then I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, for sure. Pam, thank you. Thank you so much for being on the episode.
Excuse me.
Oh, I appreciate you so much.
Oh,
And
me
if
too.
you could just tell people where they should go to get more information or to see your books or to get in touch with you.
The easiest thing is to go to my website, and it's
Hmm.
PamelaThibodeaux.com. Um, Google my name, Pamela S. Thibodeaux, S is in Sam. You're going to find me. My blogs, I have spiritual blogs, I have my bathroom blues, I have my YouTube channels. I'm on social media. So it's very easy to find me, but the way to find out all the information is PamelaThibodeaux.com.
Perfect. I'll put that in the show notes, folks. And Pam, once again, thank you so much for being part of the episode. And we'll see you all the next time on the next
Thank
episode.
you so much. I enjoyed this so much. I appreciate it. And I wish you the best of luck and God's blessings in all that you do.
Thank you
And
so much. And you too.
of
Yes,
course, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
absolutely. Absolutely. All right.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care.
You too.
Julie Noonan here. Thank you so much for listening to Roaming with Restless Women. If you're a successful senior woman leader who would like to be on this program, please visit podcast.intuitivewisdomcoach.com. If you enjoyed this interview, please share this episode on social media and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Your thumbs ups and reviews go a long way.